Hi guys, welcome back.
Welcome everybody.
Right, as you know by the title, well you should know this is going to be a little bit of a chatty sort of video, so if you're not interested in chatting, then I'll see you later.
Toodle pip.
Right, now you want to do some thank yous first, yeah?
Oh yeah, I'll do some thank yous.
Lisa's going to do some couple of thank yous.
So we got quite a few bought coffees again. Thank you very much. Max Heath.
Thank you.
David Robertson.
Thank you.
And someone called someone.
Someone called someone. Thank you,
I've
someone.
forgotten your name again, sorry. And then
thank you, someone.
And then Peter Dew for the super.
For the super. Thank you very much, Peter.
You.
Thank you. So thank you for all the nice comments and thank you for the new subscriptions. As I did say, I'll just have a recap. You know, if people like what I do, or if you want to say a thank you for what I do, coffee's absolutely fantastic. But perfectly honest, you know, to me, subscribe to my fishing channel would be a thank you enough. Okay, subscribe to this channel would be a thank you enough. Brilliant. Okay, I would like to get the fishing one up and running. At the moment I'm putting the videos onto my Woodturning channel because, well, it's got the subscribers to it and that way the videos get seen, where if I just put them on a completely new channel, they're not going to get seen, so I've got to build that one up first. So if you want to say thank you or you appreciate what we do, then just give us a sub on that. It doesn't cost you nothing. You don't have to watch the videos, you know. I mean, sometimes they're pretty crap, you know, stand there just watching me and Lisa fishing. You might not want to see that.
Oh, but we do have a good laugh.
Lisa's not even fishing, actually. She's just standing there. She's not catching.
Yeah, right.
You know, not like me.
Yeah, right.
But
we have a good laugh.
Yeah, we have a laugh,
videos,
and that's what it's about, having a bit of fun and a bit of a laugh. So if you can, just hit the subscribe button. Don't cost you nothing. It's all free, but it helps us immensely. Yeah. Right. Today, what I was going to do a little bit, I get asked all the time about what tools people should buy, you know, mostly with Carbide. They send me an email what to buy, and a lot of people ask about and say about whether traditional or whether Carbide, and I hate all that traditional. My personal thing, I've said it before, turn with everything you can. If there's a tool that you can turn wood with, if you can get it, have it. Learn to use it, okay? Because anything you can turn wood with is fantastic, and we're very lucky the choice we actually have now. But when people do like a Carbide versus traditional and all that, I mean, I put two tools there the other day, stood there for an hour, they didn't move, they didn't fight or nothing. They're not interested in versus. They don't really care.
Fight.
But you know, yeah, fight. Go on. But you see the videos up there, guys. People with Carbide versus traditional, and they just get a Carbide, they go scrape, leave a load of tear out and go, well, that's what Carbide does, and then get a nicely freshly sharpened skew and do a beautiful nice little finish cut and go, oh well, look, there's no comparison. Traditional has, well, that's not, you know, anyone can make a tool look bad. So all I want to do is give you actual advice to maybe help you choose, okay? So you get an honest thing of how can you choose? What would you choose? So I suppose the first thing comes down to, right, it's not so much what you can afford, because you can do things very cheaply. I've shown how, so I'm not going to go for what you can afford, okay? That doesn't come into it. Because in a lot of circumstances, Carbide can actually be a more expensive way to go because of the cost of the tools and the cost of replacement cutters and things like that, okay? But that's the actual tool itself. With traditional tools, you've got the expense of sharpening and things like that. I have shown videos how you can do it very, very cheaply, okay? So I'm not going to use expense or cost as a thing. I think the most important thing is how often are you going to actually turn? And what are you going to turn? That's your most important things to work out on. Because if you're going to turn, you might, I mean, for me it's not, but I turn every single day, okay? Whether I've got to do it for work or do it for me for fun, I turn every single day. Now, if you're going to turn once a fortnight, maybe only once a month or something, twice a month, I don't know. Even if you turn once a week, you're going to have a very hard time learning to turn with traditional tools, because you're not going to spend the hours to be able to actually learn how to use the tools correctly, how to get on that bevel. A lot of it comes down to muscle memory, learning and getting the feel for the tools, okay? So you've got to consider that. If you're not going to turn a lot, do you really want to go to all that expense of the traditional tools? What tools are you going to want? This is the thing. Now with traditional tools, I mean, this doesn't include like a roughing gouge. I would always say, no matter what tools you use, a roughing gouge is the best job ever designed to do a specific job. That's the roughing gouge. It does what it's designed to do. Absolutely fantastic. Nothing can beat it, nothing can touch it anywhere close. But that's using it for what it's actually intended to be used for. We do not use it on any bowls or anything like that. It is for side grain, okay? So grain that is going this way, okay? Anything, doesn't matter, size doesn't come into it, rough bits don't come into it, shape doesn't come into it. As long as that grain's going that way, roughing gouge, so nothing touches it, okay? The minute you turn it that way, it's a no-no, okay? And it's a no-no if you're going to come across this front here as well, because remember, this is end grain, and that's coming out there, and the roughing gouge will try to grab in, take too much, you get in trouble. Stick to your sides, okay? You come across end grain with it, you don't go into it. Right, and you don't go into bowls, because the minute it's a bowl, you've got end grain. Yes, you've got side grain at sometimes, but you've got end grain. So roughing gouge, if you can sharpen one, get one. If not, you can use a carbide. You don't have to have a roughing gouge. You can use spindle gouges, you can use bowl gouges, but you can also use all your carbides. Right, so making your choice. Right, you're going to go into the shop and there's traditional tools, there's carbide tools. As I said, main thing, how often are you going to turn? Are you going to be able to dedicate the time to learn to turn with these tools, learn to sharpen them? Can you sharpen? Do you know how to sharpen? Because when you come home and you've gone and bought this lovely bowl gouge and you think, oh, this lovely tool, it ain't going to come with a grind that's going to be worth keeping 9 out of 10 times, okay? The grind that's on it ain't going to be a lot good to you. It certainly won't be sharp enough. It might have an edge. You might think it's sharp, that feels sharp. You might get a couple of cuts. It's not going to be sharp enough, and a dull tool is the most dangerous tool because you're going to be pushing a bit too hard, okay? You'll learn the difference when you do start to sharpen tools and use them, how easy a sharp tool cuts. Now, I actually had a conversation with Ed from Crown Tools about this with the grinds and stuff, and I did say to him about my thing that I always find is the trouble with it with tool makers is they make tools, they don't turn wood. Same as wood turners don't tend to make tools. Okay, so a tool maker would not really understand the grinds and the reason why you would put a certain grind on. Okay, yes, Ed has turned some wood and he said he's turned some wood, he's had a go at it, but he's not a wood turner. Okay, so that's why you get it with a standard grind. Now, a lot of people think, well, they must know, the shop must know, so that grind must be perfect because the shop must know. It's not the case of that, it really isn't. So you've got a lot of learning to do if you're going to go traditional tools. You've got to learn what grinds you're going to want and what the grinds do, what you need to do for what job. So you've got to have a bit of an understanding of what you're planning to turn. If you're just going to turn some spindles and pens and things like that, maybe little bud vases and things, maybe a few goblets, why the hell anyone ever wants to turn a goblet, I really don't know, but you know, goblets, you're not going to want something like a bowl gouge. Total waste of time to you, you don't need it. So you're going to have to learn, but if you're going to go into doing bowls and you mainly want to turn bowls, and you're not going to want things like 3/8 spindle gouges and stuff. No, you need to. You know, you're not really going to want that. You're not going to need skew chisels and stuff. You're turning bowls. You won't use a skew chisel on the bowl. So that's where it becomes a bit complicated because you've got to know what you're going to turn and what. It's very hard to say these are the tools you need because I don't know what you're going to turn. And you won't know until you start. So, right. So when you get it, you're going to have to take it home, whatever the tools are, whether it's a bowl gouge, whether it's a spindle gouge, you'll get it. You're going to have to take it home and you're going to have to sharpen it. So do you have the ability to sharpen it? If not, you've got to take into account, you've got to get yourself some form of sharpening system. Whether it's a grinder, whether you want to go for CBM wheels, whether you want to go for a belt system, I wouldn't recommend it, but there you go, it's up to you. If you want to go for sand, you know, like one of these sanding, sharpening systems, whatever. Whether you want to go for a wet grind, you know, a Tormek or something like that, you're going to have to work all that out first, and you need to really find that out first. What you want, what you're going to go down. and work out the costs of it to work what you're going to turn. Now, if you're looking to go and turn professionally, as in you want to actually make a living from making your stuff and selling your stuff, okay, then first off, I would definitely say you go down the traditional route, because that's going to be so much beneficial to you, okay, for the speed of what you can turn it, and for that way you're talking about you're doing this professionally, so you're going to have to put a lot of time in to actually practice and learn how to use your tools. This isn't something you buy a lathe and think, I'm going to buy some tools and I'm going to start selling my stuff. Ain't going to work, okay. But again, even for professional turning, there's a lot of places where carbide will come into use, okay. But this is a how to make your choice on what you want to start with as a turner, because you don't know whether you're going to keep it up. I see so many. I had a guy a little while back. He bought about 8 or 9 tools. He had a load of traditional tools. He had his lathe and everything. 3 months he had it all for sale. Wood turning's not for him. Doesn't like it. That's a lot of expense to go through to say, actually, I don't like it after all. So, you know, you've got those sort of things. But traditional tools, like I say, you buy yourself a skew chisel, lovely skew chisel like that. It will not come with that perfect grind. It will have a grind on it. It won't be nowhere near sharp enough. You're going to have to learn how to sharpen it. You're going to have to learn and find out basically what bevel you want here. A long bevel is going to be, how can I say, harder to control. Can be a little bit more sensitive and give you the skip backs. So a shorter bevel is going to be easier to use, but won't give you quite as good a finish as a longer bevel. These are things you're going to have to learn, and that's what you go down when you go down a traditional route. So it's not always just a case of buy some traditional tools and you'll be fantastic and they give you a better cut. It won't always work like that. So how do you make a choice? Right, well, the thing is with a carbide chisel, if you go buy a carbide, okay, and I have them all on my website. There are other less effective ranges out there, but you know, it's up to you. You go and buy a carbide, right? You get it, you use it. There's no sharpening to do. There's no grinds to worry about. Okay, if you buy one of my tools, there's no grinds to worry about. There's nothing. You use it straight out of the packet. You take it out, you use it. Boom, that's it, done. No grinding, no sharpening, no worry about what angles to use or anything like that. You can just go and turn. Right, can you get as good a finish off of a carbide? This is the thing people think about, isn't it? Can you get as good a finish off a carbide as you can a traditional tool? Because that's where people will say, you want traditional tools, give you a lot better finish. You know, you won't get a finish with carbide. Absolute total load of rubbish. Just look back over my videos. I've got hundreds of them that will show you and prove with 100%, no doubt about it, a traditional tool. Carbide can give you as good as any traditional tool, whether it's a skew chisel, a bowl gouge, a spindle gouge, anything. A carbide can give you as good a finish. You just got to, again, learn how to use it, but there's going to be a bit of a learning. Now, the thing with carbide, and this is where it's got I suppose a bad name or whatever, is the fact that you can actually use it in what I'm not going to say a wrong way, I'd say more a bad way. Okay, you can use it in a bad way, a way it's not really best suited for. I'm going to put a little bit of wood in. You see now, with a carbide, and it's very good when you're starting out and learning. Now, I know I always go on about scraping and don't scrape, but yeah, that's my preference, is not to scrape. Okay, I don't like scrapers. I don't use scrapers. But you'll find actually majority of people that do actually you stick with just traditionals will always end up using a scraper to finish the bottom of their bowls and things like that, because they cannot get the finish off the tool. That's again another fact. I'm just going to put my coffee over here. Now, you've seen, I mean, loads of times you've seen it all done. I'm going to put my face shield on. Most important thing, whether you go carbide, whether you go traditional or anything, one of these type things. Okay, face shield. If you just wear plain face shield, dust mask underneath it. Okay, protect your lungs. If you can go for one of these type of things, you know, various companies sell them, then get one.
Right, okay. So, the thing with the Carbide, right, now, the thing with Carbide, and what probably gives it a bit of a bad name, is the fact is, you are able to just do this. Okay, and we can do this and get really nice sort of like shapes and things. Okay, and we can do it just coming in flat, like this. Okay, and we can get some very nice shapes doing that sort of thing. And now that, because it's not got a bad finish, there is some tear out, you can see it here, look, it's a bit punky, bit tear out there, okay, but we can get some nice shapes with it, and it's very easy just to push. All you have to do is remember to just be gentle, come round and let the cutter just take some wood off. Now I will always say be above centre, right?
The reason for being above centre, it's not to so much stop catches, although it will stop you getting catches. Okay, with the way the bevel is on a Carbide, it's a very short bevel, okay, and it tends to be it's a 30 degree. Now that's not a 30 degree as in a steep bevel, that's a 30 degree as in the short, like what they might say in Woodturning would be a 60 degree. Okay, it gets confusing, but there you go. Right, now when you're above centre like this and you're up here, as soon as we start the cut, we actually come on to our bevel can actually kick in and it will start. Now if you're bang on centre and you tip your tool up and you come in, there's a chance you can get into a little bit of a catch because it will go up and into the wood. If we set our height slightly above and we can actually drop our, we can actually come on our bevel and we won't get any catches. Okay, now I'm going to have to put my face shield on for this to actually show it.
So here I am with my handle down and I come in. This is my bevel here. Okay, and look, that's my bevel there, no cutting. And all I'm doing is raising my hand just slightly. Just picks up a very fine cut, okay? So now as I push and go in, I then have the control of the bevel. Okay? And that will give me a better finish cut because I'm actually using my bevel. My tool is there, that's my bevel, okay? No cutting, raise it there, just start to cut. Now what I don't want to do is put my bevel on and then raise it and start cutting and come down here. Now that's bevel unsupported, that's just on the edge there. It will cut it very fast, but it will give you a very rough cut, okay? So if you can come here and just keep our bevel there, all you have to do is push in a little bit, and what happens is as it takes that wood away, you will then raise your handle. As you go further in, then your handle slightly comes up, okay? This is the same as when we do what they call a peeling cut, okay? So I'm going to have to grab another tool for that. Now as a peeling cut, this is a beading pine, so we've got the bevel here. Now, a lot of people, you hear them say, come on, put the bevel there, and then raise the handle, and start going like this. Well, if you can see from here, I don't know whether Lisa can get it, yeah, there's an actual gap between the bevel and the wood, okay? Yep. So if I come in here and do it this way slightly, right, you can see there's a gap. If you want to get that peeling cut, what you've got to do is get your bevel on. As it starts to cut, you have to move the tool in like this and follow it down. That way, when you follow it down like so, you're actually keeping the bevel in control. The bevel's there, and we are actually, as we go in and it gets smaller, we actually have to push the tool forward, okay? We can't just, if we just lift the handle, we straight away we come off that bevel. So there's the bevel. We lift the handle and go in like this, look. And by the time we get to there, we're just on our tip. We've got no support at all. and we're going to blunt our tool very quickly. So if we come in here and we put the bevel on, and then as we cut, if we follow over like so, and we finish on the top, we got bevel. Look, our bevel's in control all the way down, and we get a beautiful finish. Right, so with the carbide, when the carbide's coming on here, and we push as we go in, we then gently raise our handle, and what we do is we keep our bevel in touch. So it's again, it's trying to maintain bevel contact, okay? It's very important. It's just that, see, a lot of people you will see use these sort of tools, traditional tools, and they will just push in, like so. And it is just scraping. And that's the thing that happens with the carbide, and it's just scraping. Now, you'll see a lot of people will use their skew chisels and do the same, and they will come here and they will push in like this, and they will get it, and they will be on their tip, and you'll see people do this with their skew and use it and say it's a negative rate scraper. Okay, what you're actually doing is you've totally ruined the edge that you had on your lovely beautiful skew, because you've scraped with it. Okay, a skew is actually designed to be used on its bevel here and to cut around like so. Okay, and that is how we use the skew, and we get a beautiful finish. It's like here, this is a slightly shorter bevel, but we will come along here and I'll pick up this cut, and then we'll come along, okay, and we use it this way. That's how the tool is designed to be used. Gives us a beautiful finish. So if we take that same effect with our carbide and we do the same thing, so instead of just coming on with our bevel there, okay, and we rotate our tool slightly, we've now got the bevel and we've got a cutting edge, and we can actually achieve exactly the same finish as our skew chisel. And where we come with the skew here, we can actually come around the same. And when we do that, we get this beautiful finish. So I'm going to very quickly just do a little bit here, okay? So when we come around here like this, get rid of some of this, and we've gone in and got our shape there, and then we stop. So our difference is here, we've got this tear out here, can you see it?
Yep.
Because we scraped in, didn't we, there?
Yep.
But this piece of wood is exactly the same piece here, but because we just rolled our tool slightly and we followed our bevel, we get no tear out whatsoever. Okay, now this is what I'm saying, this is to help you make your choice. Now a lot of people say that's the reason carbide's no good, okay, and to use a traditional. Right, now a traditional tool for this would be basically I suppose you'd say it would be a spindle gouge. So we can have a spindle gouge like this. Now the thing is with the spindle gouge is we cannot push in and do it like that. Okay, we cannot come in with our spindle gouge and push around like this, okay, to do these cuts. We don't have that option, okay, because what we will do is as we come down to here, that wing will dig in there and that will go over. We have to learn to use the bevel and take a bevel controlled cut. We just don't have the option to be able to use it flat like this. So then you'll be going over to scrapers if you want to use it like that. And I don't use them, I haven't even got them in handles. I've said it before, guys, these little scrapers, I've got a little scraper here, which would be the same as the 12mm round. Now you can use scrapers and come in and do this. And a scraper is used by raising a little burr on it, but it doesn't last very long, so you're going to have to keep going back and sharpening. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit of a problem for you.
With the carbide, if you want to get the good finish, like I said, you do have the chance that you can use it flat. This, like I said, you can come in and just use it flat, but you can't do that with these gouges. So you're going to have to learn to roll your bevel, okay? So if you're going to have to learn to roll your bevel with this to be able to get a cut and get a nice finish, then why don't you learn to roll your bevel with this and get a nice cut? You can achieve the same finish as I've proved there. You can achieve the same finish, but you haven't got to worry about, well, what grind are you going to put on? What side are you going to go for? A 3/8? Are you going to go for? Done that with these. This 1/2 inch will do everything. Okay, this is a 12mm round. That will do everything. Okay, you can buy different size chisels with different size cutters, so you can go for the 15mm round, the 12mm round, or the 9mm round. But with this, you're going to have to learn how to put these grinds on. Okay, now I'm going to stick my face shield on for a second, because like I said, the spindle gouge. Now, yes, I know you will see a lot of people will actually come on and use the tip of the tool like this. Okay, now that there has got no bevel support whatsoever, and that will be a rougher cut. That, look, that's just roughed all that cut up, okay, and that's what you'll be getting. And here, if you're coming onto a tip, we don't have that option with this to turn like that, okay. With this, we have to get our bevel, so we get our bevel and we come around, and this is how we must cut, okay, and it is a bevel controlled cut. And there we go, in that one pass. Right, that one pass, look, absolutely no, look at, you see the tear out we'd have here, okay, no tear out whatsoever. Right, one pass cleans it all up. But you must learn to use that bevel and come across, and you must always be mindful that if you accidentally come this way slightly, if these wings, because they're pointing upwards like this, okay, if they do catch, you are going to get a nasty catch and a big surprise, okay. With the carbide, if I'm going through this cut and I happen to, whatever reason, come flat, well, then it just starts working flat because it doesn't have any upside. So if you're new to starting out and you're wondering what to get, this is where carbide can be a lot easier. The trouble a lot of people have when they're doing with the carbide is the finish, because we get this rough finish. But like I said, all we've got to do is the same. We drop the handle, there's the bevel, we rotate, and all we have to do is follow round, okay, with the bevel in contact and control the cut. When we get down here, it's only just roll it out to there, that's it. Now what you would do would be to come in this side. But now, again with one pass with our carbide, okay, absolutely no tear out, every single little bit's gone. So, can we get as good a finish off of a carbide as we can a traditional? Yes, we can. So, this is where it helps you. Now, like I'm saying, this isn't a versus, okay? Because if, in all honesty, if you did a versus, okay, one versus the other, carbide wins hands down every single time, okay? Because straight out the packet, you use it. No sharpening, no bevels, no grinds to worry about. We can go and we can just go push, push, push. Can't do that with traditional. Can't do that with your spindle gouge. Flat, push, push, push. Can't do it with your bowl gouge. Okay. Can't get one of these bowl gouges. Definitely can't go in with this. Just go flat, flat, flat. You're going to come around here. That wing's going to dig in and bang, almighty catch. Okay. Same with bowls. You can't hollow a bowl. You can't push that in and go push, 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 push. But you can with one of these. Okay. Now, if you're doing bowls, you're going to buy bowl gouges. One bowl gouge ain't going to do you. you're going to need maybe 3 bowl gouges. Now this has a 50-degree bevel on it. Okay, this is one for using for hollowing. I would use this for. It can do the outside of the bowl. It works pretty well. But personally, for the outside of the bowl, the shaping round, I would prefer more a 45-degree bevel, which would be more. Without cutting my fingers, oh actually I've got one, I think there, no I haven't, hang on, I'm going to find it. So many bloody tools. Right, okay, a 45-degree bevel like that, okay, so you can see the difference in the different size tools. I know that, I don't need to be told. Right, so we're going to have a steeper grind like that. That's better to come around the outside of a bowl because it's got that 45, so we'd come round, we can actually cut in here, slice round, we can get a push cut to come round, and with it being the angle we've got here and the sweep back on those wings, when we actually come round into a push cut, we actually get a slicing on this part here. Okay, you got there, we get a slicing on this part of the wing. That will actually, we'll be pushing and we're cutting all around on this bottom section, and the wood is coming down and we're slicing. When we come in with this sort of a grind, okay, as you come round here, you end up with this bit, takes a bigger shaving off, takes a lovely thick giant's toenail type shaving, but we're actually coming in on this bottom wing here and we actually start to get in the sort of scrape mode. It actually causes it to scrape. Looks brilliant. People will argue and say no, it's cutting, but it's not, it's scraping on that bit there. Removes a lot of wood, but it's not the best on outside of bowls, because when you push in on the bevel like this type of bevel, if you actually go with a 50 and you push on, you will get a lot of bevel bounce when you get to a certain point on your bowl, around about here if this was a bowl, and here say, you'll get bevel bounce. You'll feel it when you're pushing the tool on and going round. You can avoid the bevel bounce with a 45-degree, because all you have to do as you come round, rather than push cutting here where you would get bevel bounce, you will drop your handle and come here and you won't get any bevel bounce, and what you'll get is you'll get a lovely slicey cut like that comes off, and you don't get any bevel bounce, okay, because the wood comes onto the blade isn't on and you're not pushing around. That's what happens. Now if we change that and we was going to carbide, the beauty there you've got is if you're doing the bottom of a bowl, you can actually just push around your bowl like this. Okay, so if we've got a bowl on there, we can just push round. Then you can get all that done, and all you have to do, like I've shown, is come in, drop your handle so we get there, roll it, and then just follow around. The wood will come down onto the carbide like so, and we will get this shaving like this off of a bowl. Okay, this is no different. What I'm doing here, this is no different to if I was doing a bowl. Okay, and with that held there, you can see how easy it turns and how nice a shaving we get. Okay, if we have it flat and we do it, it's harder to turn, and although you'll get what looks like a shaving, when you actually look at it, it's not a shaving, because it has all these lines across it which are scrunched up, and it's brittle and it will break up, and normally what it will come off is in little square bits fly off when you're scraping. Okay, so now you want to choose. How do you choose, traditional or carbide? Well, there you go. Have you got the ability to sharpen all the tools? Have you got sharpening gear? Now, as I've said, I would recommend you use both. If you're just starting out, what to go and grab first off, I'd go and grab yourself some carbides. See what you want to do. Okay, because if you're new to turning, you've never turned before, okay, and you've not sharpened wood turning tools, why would you? You've only just started turning. Why would you know how to sharpen a wood turning tool? How would you know what bevel to put on? You're not going to know. You're going to get very frustrated. You're going to have a lot of catches. You're going to have to spend a lot of time sharpening and learning what to do and how to do it, and if you haven't got anyone there with you, it makes it very hard. You can have lessons. Yes, you could go and have a lesson. You go and have a lesson, you'll spend half a day or a day having a lesson. By the time you'll get home, you've probably forgotten most of what you was told from the first 2-3 hours of that lesson, and you'll only remember really the last bit. Will you be able to go straight in your workshop and sharpen your tools and be able to turn a bowl and things like that? No, very much doubt it. Will you be able to ride the bevels at all? No, very much doubt it. So my personal view there, go on YouTube. Watch a guy, I can't remember, good looking young chap he is. talks a load of crap after time, but there you go. Yeah, there's a lot of videos out there, guys. Go and watch them. Don't take everything that everyone says as gospel. Not everything that people do will suit you. It might suit them, might not suit you. But the beauty with it nowadays, we didn't have this years ago, see, so you're so lucky nowadays, you really are, is you can go down in your workshop with your phone, can't you? And you can have YouTube on your phone, and you can have it there and go, right, okay, don't pause. Right, so he said, no, right, pause, do it again. You've got that. You ain't got that with a lesson, you know. You can't keep going back and back unless you're going to spend a lot of money on lessons. So when people say have some lessons, personally, no, I don't agree with that. I really don't. I know it might upset some people, especially if you give lessons out, but YouTube is your friend nowadays. And you can watch it and watch it and watch it. Trouble you got with that is everyone you'll see on YouTube will tell you Carbide are just scrapers.
Yeah.
And they will use them as scrapers, and what they will do is you see a video of them turning and they just scrape, you know, cut, sand it all, bring it back and go, oh, look at that, nice finish. No, they haven't. So not through just scraping. You've seen what it does with scraping, and I'm the first one to tell you Carbide's absolutely shit for scraping with. It really is. It doesn't give a good finish, but it can help you to actually use the tools and start turning, and this is the beauty of it. But don't get stuck into the trap of just turning by pushing your tools in and going like that. It's not a good way to turn, it really isn't. That's a bad way to turn. The good way to turn is to be able to get a cut off of your tool that gives you a beautiful clean finish. And then sanding, you know, the difference between trying to sand something that's got all that tear out that we showed like that, okay, that you will never sand that out. You start with a 60 grit paper and go through, you will still have signs of tear out. But when you get a cut like that, you can start with your 120 grit if you want and start from that, or you could actually come and start with, say, a 180 grit, go through your few grits, and you'll have a beautiful finish. And no, because you're not trying to remove anything bad, and that's what you don't want. And like I said, you can push in and do that, and then you just got to make your one last cut to clean it up. You can clean all the bad stuff off, but you must do that one last cut. Now, the thing I've said before, scrape, you're going to dull your cutters a lot quicker. It might not bother you. You might go and buy a bulk lot off a Temu or something like that. It's fine. I always say, people say what tools, what cut, what this, what that. Look, at the end of the day, guys, I sell them. I've got them on my website, but Carbide's Carbide. Okay, don't get caught into this trap that, oh, these ones are so fantastic and mega and, you know, whatever. Carbide's Carbide. So, but don't get steel. Some of them are not Carbide. This is where people go wrong, and they buy Carbide, but they're not Carbide. They're tungsten steel, not tungsten carbide. There's a big difference. Look very similar, but not the same. Be careful what you buy. Read it and look at it. Okay. It's the same now, traditional tools. If you are going to buy them, do you need to go down the route of these really expensive, cryogenic, all that sort of, no you don't. No you don't. Perfectly honest, this here is, well, yeah, go on, I'll take that one down. This is a bigger one, I haven't got the 3/8. This is, not that one, sorry, wrong tool. That one. This is a cryogenic, okay, one. Very nice tool to use. That does not hold its edge, I found, any longer than, oh, sorry, this one here. Okay, it's another tool. Right, this one is Record Power. I don't work for Record Power. I'm not supported by Record Power. I'm not in any way connected with Record Power, but that's a Record Power one that holds its edge just as long as that one holds its edge. So do you have to go and pay fortunes for tools? No, you don't. Okay, You have to be careful with some of the ones you can get places like Temu and that. It just says HSS. It's not always the quality of steel. It's too cheap, and they're not actually a tool steel. They are just a steel. Be careful with those sort. But with these, I can highly recommend things like Record Power Tools. I've got Henry Taylor tools, and I've got Crown tools. Do they hold an edge any longer? No, they don't. Absolutely not. They don't. People say they hold their edge so much longer. No, I've not found it. Don't scrape with your tools. They last forever. Okay. Not literally forever, but they last a long time. You have to sharpen them, but not as often.
Not every 2 minutes.
Not every 2 minutes, and not 3 or 4 times when doing a bowl. So there you go, guys. If you got, I'm not going to go, oh, look how good this tool is and look how bad this tool is and things like that. It's not about that. Tools come down to what you use them for and how you use them. Learn to use as many tools as you can, okay? But the most important thing and most important advice I give to any of you is learn how to use the bevel and learn what the bevel does. What actually a bevel is for and what it does. And then your problems all go away. And once you can learn to ride that bevel, problems all gone away with whatever tool it is. But I think the choice between carbide or traditional comes down to the simple fact of how much time you're going to spend turning. Yeah, if you get out in your workshop once a week, you don't want to come out here and have to start sharpening all your tools and do all that, and then come in here and you're trying to learn how to get your control and do things like you just want to go out and turn. So that's where carbide could be fantastic, you know, in things like that. Hollowing bowls out and stuff, it could be there's no. It's not a case there's no learning curve, because if you just push in and you go bang bang bang, yes, you're going to hollow it out. You're not going to have a very good bowl at the end of it. You're not going to have a very good finish. You need to get that on that bevel and control, but sometimes carbide can just be that little bit easier to control like that than a bowl gouge. You know, riding a bowl gouge, the bevel of a bowl gouge all the way around a bowl, coming across that bottom, can be a lot trickier to learn how to do correctly than it is with a carbide. A carbide, it's as easy as that. So there you go, guys. That's what I would say as in how to choose. It's really down to what time you've got. It's not the cost, it's not finish, it's not traditional tools are better than carbide tools or carbide tools are better than those tools. It clearly comes down to that simple fact is, do you want to actually go into setting up a grinder and a sharpening system and learning how to sharpen, learning what grinds and what bevels to put on. Like I said, you know, if you're going to go into it, and in all honesty, if you want to do it and do it properly and be good at it, then I'm not going to do it with one. You can't have one spindle gouge and say that's it and that's my bevel. That is not going to work for everything. You want a couple of, at least two 1/2-inch spindle gouges, at least two 3/8 spindle gouges. You want at least 2, maybe even 3 bowl gouges, 1/2-inch, 3/8, the same, 2 or 3 3/8 bowl gouges. They're the things. Skew chisels, again, you're going to want more than one skew chisel. You're going to want different grinds on it for different things. So it does become a lot more, and it does get into expense in a lot of those issues, because you know, you're not talking one tool. The beauty, like I said, with a carbide, a round carbide, and we're only talking about a round carbide at the moment, which can match a skew chisel, it can match a roughing gouge, it can match I'm not going to say that actually, nothing in this world can match a roughing gouge, but it can rough down pieces, it can match a bowl gouge, it can do all that, but it can do all that from one tool. It can do the roughing down, it can do the outside, it can do the inside, it can hollow it out, you can roll it over and get a beautiful, clean, nice finished cut with it. I've got videos demonstrate how to do it all inside and outside of bowls. One tool, nothing else needed. You can do all that. I've even shown how you can put your tenon on at the end with a round carbide, so you could actually turn that bowl start to finish, everything, that one tool. Can't do that with traditional, it doesn't work, I'm afraid. So there you go. I mean, if anyone wants to say different and show that and do a complete bowl start to finish with just the one tool, go ahead. without sharpening it as well. Let's see ya. Go on, I challenge anyone to do it. Let's see one. Put it up there. Let's see you. All you professional. Hey, come on, let's see you out there doing it. But anyway, guys, that's it really. Sorry if it's not what you thought you was going to get, or if it hasn't helped you, then that's fair enough. You know, you could still give me a sub on my fishing channel anyway. If it has helped, then there you go. Just to help you make a choice. Okay.
Details of the channel will be in the descriptions box.
Yeah.
Just to help you.
All the tools, like I said, available on the website. There are other brands out there of lesser things, you know. Efficiency, I should say, or something. Yeah, the difference is my tools are designed to do what I say they will do, and what I do to do them with. I'm a wood turner and I make tools, so there you go. Right, I'll see you on the next one then, guys. So toodle pip. It's probably just been a load of crappy waffle for a lot of you. There you go. But yeah, okay, see you on the next one, guys.
Bye, guys.